Yes, we are all sluts. You're a slut. All these dudes behind you are sluts. Your cameraman's a slut. Your PA's a slut. And your mic's a slut.
And what made you a slut?
Because I own my body. My body is not a political playground. It's not a place for legislation. It's mine and it's my future. And
How old are you?
grown. Grown.
Grown. And so you sleep around with a lot of men.
No, actually, I'm a virgin.
You're a virgin?
Yeah.
So you're not a slut.
Yes, you can be a slut. Because a slut is not what you made it, Jesse. A slut is what I made it. A boss, getting money, taking the mic, turning life around, taking over Hollywood. Samir Wright.
So you are still a virgin, but yet you call yourself a slut.
It wouldn't matter. I'm saying it doesn't matter if I'm a virgin. It doesn't matter what a woman's sexual history is. A slut is just a word that you and your fellow penises made. A slut. Your mama's a slut. Your grandma's a slut. Everybody.
Is your mother a slut?
No, but yours is.
Your mother's not a slut? When you say every woman's a slut.
Everybody.
Well, why your mother's not a slut?
You are a slut. Not my mother in particular is not a slut, but a slut is a word for anybody who's owning their sexuality, turning up, and not letting Jesse twist their answers around.
So let me ask, I noticed are you dressed slutty today?
No, I'm dressed like a woman.
What made you decide to come out looking like this? You look like a slut. What made you do it?
You look like a slut.
What made you dress?
What made you dress like this?
No, just answer that question. What made you dress?
I dress like this because I can dress whatever I want to. Period. But what made you dress like this?
Let me ask you, do you
Why
believe?
you put on this striped shirt?
Let me ask you, do you believe in God?
Yes, Jesse. I believe in God.
Would God want you to be a slut?
God would want me to be whatever I want to be.
Would he want you to be a slut?
He would want me to be whatever I want to be.
How about a slut?
Whatever I want to be.
And why would he want you to be a slut?
Let's be real. Women fully understand why having a high body count is an unfavorable trait. How do I know this? Because it is one of the 3 go-to insults that women resort to when they don't like each other. You're fake, you're ugly, you're a slut. They use these insults when they're insulting each other, and they use these insults when they're beating themselves up about something. But why do these insults hit so hard? And why don't the same insults work on men? Most women fully understand that most of their value lies in their looks and how close they are to their virginity. And by close, I mean how far away you've strayed from your virginity. You see, in the sexual dating world, women aren't in a position to hunt. They are always in the position of choosing. And because being a good chooser both for men and women is a very important and favorable trait, making too many choices makes you less valuable. Because even if you meant for those choices to be temporary, the fact that you had to make so many is what makes you a bad chooser. Because it gives the impression that you don't know how to make the right decision. And likewise with attraction, because all that is a mechanism to attract the other sex to you so they want to reproduce and they want to share their resources with the woman. It's not really a secret that taking care of a kid by yourself is hard. And although it's not impossible, being both the caretaker, the breadwinner, the protector, and the teacher are a very large undertaking to have to go about by yourself. But that is why these insults work, because your value is completely predicated on your ability to both attract a man and keep him. And likewise, with men having the ability to effectively solve problems, supply resources like protection, quality genetic material, shelter, etc., you are literally almost nothing from a biological standpoint to the opposite sex. But women fully understand that being promiscuous is a very unfavorable trait. But the issue isn't that they don't know that. The issue is that feminism and the media have conditioned Gen Z and millennials to think that it's okay, and if you have a problem with it, something is wrong with you. The slut walk and Sex in the City being the main examples of these two things. Feminism made women believe that they could be as promiscuous as they wanted to and go out and have a career and worry about it all later. And that in the end they would be fine because men would always want them. And they kept women blind to the fact that even though the average man will sleep with almost anyone, marriage would not even be on the table unless he considered you to be a 10. And they also fail to realize that men are way more okay with dying alone without kids and being marriageless than women are. And it's simply because we know at the end of the day, we're gonna have to be the breadwinners regardless of if we're together or not. And because we can buy a maid, order Uber Eats, hang with the boys, and solicit a prostitute, there aren't many things that the modern women bring to the table, simply because half of you can't even cook. You're not very emotionally stable, and you don't even know how to support your man. And even though a lot of that has to do with the fact that a lot of modern women were never taught how to actually support their man, it still doesn't take away from the fact that you don't. And it's created a culture of women that don't know what to give men what they want outside of sex. And what we're seeing now is by the time they realize that, they're too old for men to actually care. And now they have to keep riding that train they've been getting run on throughout their 20s, because now they can't even get men to talk to them without that even being guaranteed. And like I've said in other videos, don't make the mistake of thinking just because a man wants to sleep with you that he actually wants to be with you, because that has nothing to do with your actual value. And having a high body count, when a guy finds that out, if he still wants to be around you, he's literally probably just telling you things that he thinks you want to hear so he can be the next notch in that belt. And having a high body count makes him believe that he has a better chance. Don't let her make you think it's not a big deal and that you shouldn't worry about it. Because if she's hiding this, she's probably hiding all of the emotional baggage that came with it. And I promise you, she won't be able to hide it for long. Especially when you start getting into a serious relationship with her. So pay attention, understand, and know who you're dealing with, and stay woke.